Alright, what we got here is an FMU. Just got shipped to me. This video is going to show you why FMUs have a bad rep and why they don't work right. People normally order a brand new FMU and think, alright, it's good, it's ready to install, it's new. Well, the first thing you can see right off the bat, it's not even screwed together tight. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. Can you see that gap? So the FMU, the purpose of it is to raise your fuel pressure whenever boost hits the vacuum line up top here. And it raises your fuel pressure by X amount of pressure per pound of boost in order to give your car, which was naturally a non-turboed car, enough fuel to accommodate boost safely, at least at a low boost level. Alright, here it is apart. First thing you'll notice, this washer is supposed to push down on a button that goes inside, which is actually missing. This one was actually missing the little button. That's awesome. Well, I have a donor FMU over here I can pull a button out of. The button goes here. What that's supposed to do is vacuum, or boost rather, goes through here. It pushes down on this flange, this here, which would push down on this in order to push the button, which would slowly start to close off your return line, which hooks up here. It can't do that when this spacer ring is in the way. Don't know what they were thinking about when they put this together, but this is the way they all come. I order these FMUs all the time for turbo builds, and they always have to be modified before they can actually function at all. Where did I put my Allen wrench? Alright, now we'll get down to the next section here. This is another piece that's backwards. That button presses down on this piece of sheet metal that needs to actually plug that hole up when there's pressure applied to it. This was in between the piece of sheet metal and the fuel. This is not anything. I don't put them back in. The fuel will actually melt these. It'll clog up your return line and make your car run like complete shit. So what I do, first make sure you don't have any leaks between here and here inside the housing, because they do thread them wrong sometimes. So you plug up that hole and blow through it. This one actually had a real slight leak, but it's not going to be enough to affect anything. So put the piece of metal back on it. Put a couple screws in it. Now, the best way I've found after these screws are all tight to make it actually effective, take the little button. Once this is all put back together correctly, air still goes through it. Put the little button in there. You find something heavy to tap on it a few times with. That indents the sheet metal underneath. As you can see here, it actually will indent it just a little bit to where it forms the shape of what it needs to plug up, so it takes less pressure to actually start closing off the return line. Air still flows through there just fine. So you plug it up by pushing the button, blow through it, test it. Seems to be working just fine now, unlike when we received it. Rubber diaphragm on top, metal washer in there on bottom. Sometimes these metal washers, they bind up in there. This one's not so bad, it'll work. Sometimes they bind up in there and you actually have to grind down the edges of the washer just a tiny bit to make it all fit together correctly and function. There's another problem you got to look out for. On the top plate, sometimes the brass fitting protrudes a little too far. If it protrudes too far, it'll actually hit this and start pressing the button down itself and start functioning a little too early here, like without boost. This one in this case is actually okay. It's not protruding too far, and you can always change that fitting later. Once I put it back together now, it'll be a functioning unit. You got to take a couple things out, modify a couple things, and then it'll work just fine, just like a real Vortec would, which costs $400 more than these $75 eBay ones. Never had a problem with them yet, as long as I rebuild them properly. So hopefully this information helps everybody that keeps on trash talking the FMUs like they don't work. And it might actually save a lot of people that are just getting into boosting their car for the first time and aren't ready for standalone engine management. It'll at least give them the opportunity to start exploring the world of boost before they step up to the big game of the programmable ECUs. Thanks for watching.